Hey eBay sellers, it's Suzanne A. Wells. Thank you for coming back for another video. Let's talk about measurements on clothing. There are two schools of thought on this. One is you don't need them. It's too time consuming to take measurements and put them on your listings, and that's fine. The other school of thought is you definitely need them, which this is my business model. Because people cannot try on the clothing. They compare what you're selling to something they already have that fits well, and they will compare those measurements to make sure the item fits. They really don't want to have to return it. They want to be able to keep it. I know we clothing sellers do not like returns, but that's just the nature of the product we're selling. But as a buyer, when I buy clothing online, I want it to fit. I don't want to have to return it. So if you can spoon feed your buyers that information and take the time to measure, you may get more sales. I know I do. When I started adding measurements, it made a huge difference years ago. Also, one of the problems on eBay is that questions do not get answered. So buyers can be frustrated when the information they need is not on the listing. They have to email you, message you, and ask, can you measure the waist? Can you measure the inseam? They want to see if there's enough room to alter the item or if it's going to fit them. And a lot of them have the mindset of, well, nobody's going to answer me anyway, so I'm just not going to bother asking this person. I'll just move on to the next listing and buy it from somebody who has the measurements on there. So you may be missing opportunities for sales if you don't include the measurements because buyers may not ask you anyway. Or they may not have time to wait for an answer. They need to buy that thing for an event, traveling. Their favorite, white blouse is ruined. They need to buy another one for work, whatever their issue is. People don't like to wait. We live in an instant gratification society. And people want what they want like yesterday. So it's already going to take a few days for it to get to them. Do they really want to wait a day or two to see if you're even going to answer? Those eBay sellers out there that don't answer questions, that affects everybody because buyers get in this mindset of, well, they're not going to answer me anyway, so I'll just move on to somebody else. Or, it's going to take forever to get an answer. I really want this thing. But, no, those eBay sellers, they take too long to answer. So, keep that in mind when you are writing your listings. And as you get more experience, you will get better at this. But you need to anticipate what they're going to ask so you can have that in your listing already. So when they land on your listing, you've done a lot of work to get them there. You've bought the item, taken pictures of it, written the listing, put in the right keywords, filled everything out. When they get to your listing, you don't want anything to prohibit them from buying it. So put as much information that is relevant that a buyer would want. And I am a strong believer that measurements do matter. And yes, it takes time, but this is a business that takes time. So, what are your thoughts? Do you include measurements? Do you think it matters? Do you think it's a hassle and a waste of time and you don't want to do it? If you aren't doing measurements, I would like to challenge you maybe for a month to include those on your listings and see if you get better results, if you get more sales, and just do a personal experiment to see if it works for you. So I'd love to hear your comments on that and what do you do? Thanks for watching. Bye.